An event is here. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the bull run. We're all gonna lose all of our money. Let's all cry and complain and act like it's never gonna go good ever again. Oh. Oh, have I got a lot to say about today's disaster, but I'll tell you what, today's disaster is going to be dwarfed by a disaster that's coming and is totally unavoidable. I will also show you today proof that listening to me will actually make you money, which is something that many of these other streamers cannot say, which is why I am the best and why you should only watch me. Thank you very much. Also, got a lot to say here about how stupid Ivan on tech is. That's the cut. Oh my gosh, why is your coin down? I forgot it. I got a lot to say about him today. Also, could stable coins be a top signal that we should watch out for? And you hear so much about the AI bubble, and is there a crash coming with it? All this and more on today's very special emergency episode of Shut the Fud Up. I'm Cairo Copeland, and this is Reinvent Ideal. Welcome to a very special emergency episode of Shut the Fud Up. It's an emergency episode because I wasn't planning on streaming today, but since way too much stuff occurred in the markets, I'm just like, oh god, well, we're gonna have to stream here. Way too much going on. Hello, I see RH Max, I see Checks My Pulse, I see Tam Tam in the chat. How you doing, guys? Am I bullish, RH Max? Absolutely, I am bullish. Or actually, let me start with sarcasm today here. That's what I meant to start out with. I meant to start out with sarcasm. Guys, apparently I just got proven wrong. The 4-year cycle is true. October 6th was the top. It's all downhill from here. We're totally capitulating. Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the altcoins are never going to go back up ever again. The stock market is crashing. The Trump presidency has failed. BlackRock is going under. So is Fidelity because they all invested too heavily into crypto. And oh my gosh, they regret it. Or they're learning to regret it. And my reputation is ruined. I'm going to have to hide my face in shame forever now. And we'll never see Richard Hart ever again. I'm going to show you guys today why you should only ever listen to me. Because one of our viewers has actually shown me indisputable evidence that they made money listening to me. Absolutely, right? But guys, here's why you should always listen to me. Who has been telling you this whole time that we have a difficult Q4 ahead of us? Who said that? I believe that there was this really good-looking guy that, real good-looking guy that I think he had like an Egyptian-sounding name. Was it like Kato? What was it? Kino? Keiko? Something like that. Yeah, I forget what it was. But, I do remember that, he was a really good dancer and everything, even a good singer, too. But, don't know who he was, but he said we had a difficult Q4. Oh, that's right, it was Cairo! Cairo over at Reinvent Ideal. That's who told you we have a very difficult Q4 ahead of us. So that's one prediction come true. So I was planning to have a nice weekend off this weekend. I was going to just relax out on the beach, which is just a few paces away from here, and have a nice little weekend where all I do is just play my ukulele and have a nice time. But what everybody showed me today is that, no, I can't do that. Just not capable of doing that here. Because when we have just one bad thing happen, everybody capitulates and everybody refuses to control themselves. So I got a message for everybody here, and we're gonna let Margaret Qualley deliver that message for you. Margaret,
control yourself.
That's my message for everyone. Y'all gotta control yourselves. You gotta stop blowing your loads all the damn time going, Trump tweet. tweeted, "Sell the Bitcoin." Apparently, that was written somewhere in Satoshi's white paper. It says that, hey, if Trump tweets something about a trade war and tariffs and everything, you should sell all of your Bitcoin and force the price down. And you should absolutely lose complete control of yourself and be panicking here. Margaret, could you please tell them again?
Control yourself!
Thank you very much, Margaret. I know that everybody here just doesn't have that ability. We're all just in such, we're all capitulating like little children that just got told that they can't stay up past 9 p.m. on a school night, and it's just the worst thing in the world. Yeah. And remember when that happened to you as a kid and the suffering that was about to be incurred by being forced to go to bed early? It felt like the absolute end of the world because being a kid, you just couldn't see past the next 5 minutes. You couldn't see anything good happening beyond that. Like the ruined night meant a ruined life for you. And that's what the entire crypto market is doing right now. One bad day ruins the entire quarter and the entire rest of the year, the entire cycle, and it's never going back up. That's what they all think. That's what they're all spreading around on X here today. So, Margaret, please tell them one more time.
Control yourself!
All right, thank you very much, Margaret. I love that. If you don't know, that's from the movie The Substance. I'll tell you, a great movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies from made in the past 5 years or so. Whatever you do, don't watch it if you do not have a strong stomach, because it's a pretty gross movie in some places here with the horror elements of it. Lots of gore and body horror and everything. Again, I love Demi Moore. Demi Moore is such a great actress. I'm so pissed off that she didn't win the Oscar for it. I like Mikey Madison too. She did a great job in Nora, but Demi Moore definitely deserved it. She got robbed, and that's what that movie is from. There, that Mountain Dew Code Red. I should see what this is. This is Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream, and I buy it because what's hilarious to me is that it says cherry and cream right next to each other, and I'm just like, man, that's very suggestive now, isn't it? Cherry and cream. Mm-hmm. So, how about before we get into the news of today, let's take a look at what's going on in the markets here today. Because what's happening in the markets here today is just so awful, so disastrous. Everybody's got to sell it because nobody knows how to
control yourself.
I will annoy you guys to death. No, I'm not going to annoy you guys to death. I'll tell you, that's something I really hate about other streamers is when they play memes that are not funny and they're very long. Can't stand it for the life of me. Woo, look at here. We are going lower. We are down to 114,000. Let me refresh, see if it's worse. Okay, we went back up to 115,000. It caught a bid. Oh, no, it's back down to 114,000. Wow, are we going to hit 113,000? Is it going lower? Do I hear lower? So we're now 12,000 bucks away from the all-time high. Oh man, Ethereum took a big fall right here, taking a gigantic dump. Absolute gigantic dump down to 38. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to think that it's all over for Ethereum. Man, I'm thinking it is going to fall. Yeah, there it goes, 113,800. Boom, 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 boom. Well, absolutely. I can't wait till they update the fear and greed index here because, man, I do not believe this fear and greed index for a second that it was at neutral just a day ago, because that's when it last updated. They called it a neutral. It's got to be in not extreme fear, but it's going to need to be in fear in the next update that they do for it here. Because if you're down 10% in Bitcoin, the market leader, yeah, that's some serious fear going on there, people. All right, 113,700. How much lower is it gonna go? I do got some dry powder I want to deploy today, but really want to try to catch the bottom bid on this one here. Not in Bitcoin, not buying Bitcoin. I'm not sure what I'm going to buy yet. Probably Athena or some Crow. How are those guys doing? Why am I looking at this? Oh my gosh, it might actually go to 112,000. Like, here's the great big capitulation. Yep, all over, people. That's what I say. It's all over. Yep. We did not hit a single one of the market cycle top indicators. Not a darn one of them we didn't hit. But it's all over, apparently. The smart money is still buying, and they must not be so smart money anymore. They must be like real stupid money because they didn't know that it was all over on October the 6th. Oh, looky here. Remember last stream 2 days ago, Bitcoin dominance I highlighted was at, it was at 58 something. Yeah, now it's at 59. Gee, I remember there was a guy on Crypto 7 that said Bitcoin dominance is going to go up. I forget what his name was, man. It was a very funny Egyptian sounding name, though. But, yep. Bitcoin dominance is now up at 59.1%. As I predicted, it is going to go up and keep going up. Look at the wide spread between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then also Bitcoin and all the other coins. It's an enormous spread, and it's stayed an enormous spread ever since January 15th, 2023, because despite the fact that everybody thinks that's when the bull market started, no, that ain't when the bull market started. It never started. It only had a good run here for Bitcoin, but we never actually got into a bull run. I still hold by that, and I'm going to show you evidence of that today, too. Now, where was I? Yeah, let's look at some coins here. Like, what do I want to buy today? Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to get a little bit of Kronos because it's down to like 16 cents. I just have to wait to see if it goes down to 15 cents before I get it. Ooh, Ondo and Athena are down pretty bad here. Athena down to 46 cents. Man, that thing was up at like 55 cents earlier this morning. And Ondo is, 69 cents. Oh, capitulation. Down 15% in the last hour. Why is everything like down so hard in the last hour here, though? Like, is there real bad news that came out just now? Incredible. And how about the pulse chain ecosystem? How's that doing? Strangely, not as bad as everybody else here. Not anywhere near as bad as anybody else. Like, yeah, it's down. But compared to what I'm seeing elsewhere, to only be down single-digit percent, that's incredible. I mean, I think what this shows you here is that a lot of the people that had the weak hands and were going to panic and capitulate were already out of pulse chain. Because if we're only down single digits while everybody else is down double digits on the hourly, that's something, all right. That's something to be encouraged by. Oh my, 111,000. See, this is exactly what I predicted right here. That there would be a lot of people who are going to get shaken out and are going to sell out because they really do fully believe in, 110,000, my God. They fully believe hook, line, and sinker in the whole 4-year cycle thing. And they believe that that is just an unbreakable law of physics. And it has nothing to do with what occurs in the 4 years. It's just the crypto calendar tells them exactly what to do. It's all about what's on the calendar. And apparently, if you stay in past the 6, well, you round trip your bag, right? So what's happening in the news here? Oh, okay, Trump's making an announcement at the White House, and apparently the announcement is not, not nice here. Yeah, let's see if we can watch it live here. Did he do it yet? It says, is it happening now? Gotta find it somewhere here. Is it playing live? Is it the Hill? All right, so if it is playing right here, we'll play it and all. Okay, so he hasn't made the announcement yet, but you see he's about to. That's the deal. All right, so Trump put an extra 100% tariff on China imports and adds export controls here. Oh, getting a whole bunch of alerts here from the Coin Market Cap app about the absolute destruction going on in the markets here today. Oh my goodness! Tech mega cap loses 770 billion in value as Nasdaq suffers steepest drop since April. How bad is it, guys? This is only 3.5% on the Nasdaq. That's not something to really write home about. And the alarm keeps going off. Bitcoin down to 107,000. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Is it 107,000? No, it just says 109,000 there. How to get to 107,000? Like maybe that was the lowest bid that it ever caught here. Let's take a look. Where is it? Did it go lower? Very frightening time for a lot of people right now, I bet. But still got to lose a whole nother almost 10,000 to fall below 100,000. Y'all think it falls below 100,000? You guys let me know in the chat there. You think it goes below 100,000? Because that would be pretty, that'd be pretty sad for, that would discourage a lot of people. Absolutely discourage a lot of people. Yeah, Ash, you're right. The Treasury is back in the red. The pulse chain Treasury, which sucks. But it just goes to, whoa, yeah, my goodness, look at that candle. Just came through here. Went down to 106,000. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Yeah, we got some problems going on here. Where was the where's the announcement going to be made? We want to copy and watch that here. So we'll wait till the announcement goes on, and we'll carry it live. I wonder what the announcement is going to be. Is it going to be like the whole 100% tariff thing? Where was that story? Here was that story. Adds export controls on critical software. I got a lot to say about what's going on in tech here and like why they're down so bad today. I'm hoping that it is what I think it is. Still not live yet, are they? You guys are 20 minutes late. I was 2 minutes late today, so I really can't talk, but I wasn't 20 minutes late. Yes, President Donald Trump said the United States would impose a new tariff of 100% on imports from China over and above any tariff they are currently paying starting November 1st. Trump also said that the U.S. on that same date would impose export controls on any and all critical software. The move is in retaliation for new export controls that China imposed on rare earth minerals. Hey, wasn't there a guy on YouTube on a live stream that was talking about rare earths all the way back in July? And you know how Trump is going to have to take a stake in them with the entire... the phone keep going off here. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin at 105,000. It's bad. It might actually fall below 100,000 today. But like how Trump is going to have to take a stake in them in order to continue fighting the wars that they want to fight. Yeah, there was a guy who said that. What was his channel called though? I forget what the channel was called. Was it called like Reinvent the Wheel or something? I forget. It's amazing that he had the foresight to predict that all the way back in July though. Around 70% of the global supply of rare earth minerals come from China. I think I knew a guy that said that once. The minerals are essential for high-tech industries, including automobiles, defense, and semiconductors. Let's see, has the announcement gone off here yet? Not yet. Not yet. Well, ETH down 20%. Bitcoin down 13%. Tublarus asks, is this good for quantitative easing? Could be. I mean, I think it's got to go down a lot more than it's going down, and they care a lot more about the stock market than they care about the crypto market. They don't care about us at all in crypto. They don't care about us one bit because still, as big as we got, we're only, like 3.76 trillion? Yeah. Is this the price right now? Oh my god, 104, 108, or is it 104? Which one is correct? It's 108 now. It's 108. It sure is like really fighting to catch the bids. Yep. Now is this okay? Yeah, it's 108. Mm-hmm. You guys remember, like, way back in the good old days when Richard was streaming? Remember, like, there was a time when, like, the Bitcoin website got hacked and he got on a stream and comforted and reassured the market that things were going to be okay and they'd work out. Well, sadly, we don't have Richard right now because his lawyers are telling him not to speak. But you know what you do have? You have me. Thankfully for you, I decided to come out of my weekend off that I was going to enjoy and give y'all a very special message. A message about when you see this crash going on, you know what you should do?
Control yourself!
It's exactly what you should do. All right. NJ Dub says, worst crash since that Japan stuff that happened last year in July or June. I think what you're talking about is the carry trade, which occurred in August. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't think we'll see trouble with the carry trade again. Kiko just came in here and asks, why is everything down? Everything is down because the president is about to make a great big announcement right here that we think is related to the economy and the trade war with China. It did not look great here, what's happening with the trade war. Let's see. Bloomberg's talking about the peace in the Middle East deal. Let's see. Do these guys got it on right side broadcasting? Coming any minute here. Coming any minute. What about Yahoo? I think that they might have something going on. The White House official YouTube channel. What did I see with Yahoo, though? I might see something that they had, because, like, Yahoo Finance. Well, like, when it comes on, it will be on here on CNBC for sure. So we will carry it on this channel to make sure that you get to see it all. Kiko, do I think that it's going to go back? I mean, eventually, yes. Eventually, yes. I think that all of this here is just a panic, an absolute panic over some of the stupidest stuff here. It's just like what we experienced back in April. This is something that I think is somewhat controlled. I mean, I don't want to say it's planned. I don't want to say it's planned here or anything. Sunlight says, flushing out those married to the 4-year cycle. Now's the easy time to do it. Absolutely. Tablarus, there's a PDI conference. Maybe. Yeah. Oh my God, Sonic went all the way down to 10 cents. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all over. Let's have a look here. Where is everything? Let me refresh. I don't think this lasts for a long time. It doesn't keep going down and down and down forever. Oh my God, Sonic. Whew. You guys got hit bad. Now you're down in the 90% loss territory. Joining many other cryptos here. That's like a complete market reset. So, like, any bull run that we did have was just made completely insignificant for the majority of altcoins. The only thing that I think is still in any sort of profit is Bitcoin. Because, like, look at Solana, all the way down to like 176. And everything, I think, is officially down below. Everything except Bitcoin is officially down below its previous market top. The Bitcoin and Binance. You see, Binance is only up because it's up at the expense of everything else because of like how the Binance runs its exchange and where it collects its fees. It collects fees in all the other coins. So when you trade all of the other altcoins on Binance, they collect a fee in each altcoin, and they recently started selling those altcoins for the Binance token, and that's what pushed their price up and pushed everybody else's price down. So you hear about like Binance manipulations. I don't think it's like totally manipulation by Binance, but it's certainly not friendly to the rest of the ecosystem. If they fall below 1,000, well, yeah, there's some serious trouble going on there. I think that it must be like some limit orders firing off. Man, I think that the fear and greed index probably fall into extreme fear. Look at this here. Like last time that we were up in greed was in August. I don't think I believe that we were in greed in August. Well, yeah, we kind of were. We're in greed, but not extreme greed. And had a tiny little pop of greed on October the 6th. You see, to really say that we hit the top, you got to have been up in extreme greed for about 3 to 4 weeks. When you're up in extreme greed for 3 to 4 weeks, that really is marking the top, and that's when it is all over, when it comes down from that. Everybody, don't worry. Don't panic here, guys. Don't panic. This is not going to be forever. All right. Yeah, Richard Tweet should be coming out. That would really help if he came out with one soon. Trump, what is going on here? When are you gonna make your announcement? For goodness sake! I do think that like when Trump starts talking, depending on what he has to say, like if he has something to say here about, well, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, you might get some market recovery there. But if he comes out and yeah, it's kind of like the Jerome Powell speeches here. Like if it's hawkish, well, then that's not good for us either. That's going to have the market continue to go down. Let's see. New tariffs. What's the rest of the story say? It's a big problem with the whole rare earths thing. Absolutely a big problem that China controls the majority of those. Affects all countries without exception, and was obviously a plan devised by them years ago. It's absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations. Okay, this is from his tweet. China's Ministry of Commerce on Thursday said that starting December 1st, foreign entities must have a license to export products that contain more than 0.1% of rare earths sourced from that country or that are manufactured using Chinese extraction, refining, magnet making, recycling. Yeah. Think that yeah, it's a good thing that they took a stake in MP Materials. It looks like they didn't take it fast enough. Um, so let's see. Nasdaq got hit right here. The story just came out 3 minutes ago. Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla all fell by about 5%. Man, I'd be okay with a 5% drop in my investments here. This must be the extended hours trading going on. It has those pushing down. So we might see like stocks fall a lot more tomorrow. A lot more, because what happens in extended hours trading for stocks is they set a whole bunch of limit orders. And those limit orders probably go off right when the market opens tomorrow. And as everybody's dropping, cats and dogs living together. Yep. How's the DXY doing in reaction to this here? That's what I'm curious about. That thing's got to be pretty volatile. It's come down. What was like the trend for today? Let's see. Well, for today, the trend had been nothing but down. So it opened up today at like 99 something. Then it got all the way down to 98.85. So not that impactful on the dollar. Here we go. I'm gonna hear something from the White House. And he's got a chart. You know that happened last time. He had a chart. Not great for the markets. But let's hear what he has to say. Basically, the story is the trade war is back on, and bull market is delayed because of it. It's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, yeah, I don't think that the bull market really started because of like that major washout that we had back in April. That washout had really kicked us further back. It kicked us further back here and caused a greater bull market delay. Do this here. See, is this working? Why does it do that whenever I change the thing? Oh well. Let me raise it. No, there's not really a lot of sound coming out of this here just yet. Ain't no sound from there's just a bunch of hum from the reporters, so don't worry, we're not missing nothing yet. Uh, oh, you know what else we got, Jack? Here is the treasury yields. Is that the most up to date thing on it here? Is the 4.03? Yeah, 4.03 on the 10-year treasury. Incredible. Still won't go below 4% on that 10-year treasury. Like, nothing is gonna push it down further. Like, people just don't want treasury bonds seemingly, like, no matter what happens. And the thing about, like, the 10-year treasury is that it is neck and neck right now with the federal funds rate. Federal funds rate's a little bit higher. You need those 2 to flip over. Need the federal funds rate to be lower than the 10-year treasury before we get any sort of bull run going. There may be a recession in between. All right, looks like he's coming. All right, there's RFK. There's Lutnick. Is that Powell? That can't be Powell. Nah, that ain't Powell. Forget who the tall guy is. Does anybody know who the tall guy is? Who's the giraffe? Where the market's at right now? 109 on the Bitcoin, 3,700 on Ethereum. I think I might buy some more Sonic today if it's down to 10 cents. It's like that's like picking up a dollar for a penny. All right. So they anticipate him coming soon. Come on, Mr. President. We need some sort of reassurance that we're not all going to die and the market's not over. Very interesting thing here, though, is how strong and resilient Bitcoin is. It's back up to 111 here. That is institutions, people. Remember last stream I did where I was very, very angry about how I was condescended to in a lot of like the spaces about how the there's no it's not institutional bull run. There's plenty of retail here. If there was mostly retail in Bitcoin right now, they would have sold that thing down to like 70,000. So it's mostly institutions holding it up, and a lot of those institutional purchases were bought pretty recently. They're loving this because they're going to buy a whole lot more. I bet Sailor's loving this. He's going to buy a whole lot more. Probably a lot of limit orders went off too to buy up some more Bitcoin. Don't worry, Kiko. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's not over yet. It's only scary because we're living in the moment. Is this the president? Is he coming? Not yet. But yeah, so this proves that I was right. That here comes the president. Hello. Let me know if y'all can hear the president too. Oh yeah, let's check that. Where's oil at? Woo! 58. The Coinbase app is going a little haywire. No sound? You guys can't hear? Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that. He hasn't said anything important yet, though. Hang on, guys. Yeah, I think I'll have it fixed here with this. Don't worry, you guys haven't missed anything. Wait, not that one. He's just come out and like thanked some people is all.
In 28 years to lower drug prices during the course of the year.
Let me know if you can hear him now.
And we actually did, and I was so proud of myself. We called a news conference. I announced it. It was 1/8 of 1%. 1/8 of 1%. Now drug prices are going to be going down 100%, 400%.
Colin says it's good now. Will you guys, rest of you, let me know?
In some cases. But for 1/8 of a cent, Bobby, think of that. I was so proud because for 28 years, nobody had done it. And now it's, I think back to that, I said I shouldn't have had that news conference. But it is true. I was the only one that did it, but it was not very much. And now we're going to get, in some cases, 1,000% reduction. This is going to have a huge impact on everything from Social Security to Medicare to Medicaid, anything where they're buying any prescription drugs. It's going to have an incredible impact. It's going to lower itself greatly. AstraZeneca will also list many of their most
Market
popular
seems to be
drugs
stabilizing
online at
now.
TrumpRx.
At 111,500.
Trump RX. I don't know why they put the name Trump. I did not tell him to do it, but I'm honored to let him do it. That's true, actually. That heavily reduced most favored nations cost. Americans can expect discounts, and as I said, it could be in many cases way over 100%. And as an example, one particular drug that's hot, very hot, 654% on inhalers, COPD and asthma, as well as certain diabetics medications. They're going to be averaging about 654% reduction in price. You believe that one? The Democrats will say, well, he should have gotten more. It's crazy. In addition, all medications AstraZeneca
Suey's down to $2.
The American market going forward will also be sold at these heavily discounted rates. Furthermore, AstraZeneca will invest $50 billion in the United States over the next 5 years for research and development of new drugs and to onshore manufacturing facilities across the country, like the new plant that broke ground yesterday in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the governor attended. They had a tremendous group of people attending. It's going to have 3,600 jobs just to begin with. And that's going to be a fantastic plant. I saw a picture. It's going to be the best, right? You can't get any better. This is a tremendous victory for Virginia and for American patients and for everything, for the country. It's an amazing company to have coming over to the United States in such a big way. That's going to be a big part of the company. Presidents have promised for years to lower the cost of health care, but my administration is actually the first to do it and do it substantially, do it at numbers that nobody thought, even I thought, were not possible. When you think of it, if you got a 1%, 2%, 5%, that's good. You did a good job. We're talking about 100, 200, 300, 500, 700.
You know what we want to hear about?
Some big numbers.
Back to
and
the
the
actual
largest drug
subject
companies in the
people
world
are
are working with us to make this a reality. And so I look forward to being at your opening of that incredible facility. I hear something, and it's in a great location, Len, right? One of the beautiful locations. So I'd now like to ask Secretary Kennedy to say a few words, followed by Dr. Oz, Pascal, Governor Youngkin, and we'll take some questions afterwards. Would anybody like to have some questions? Yes? Oh, I'm shocked. Okay, we'll take them right after, okay? Bobby, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I talked about this a little yesterday in the cabinet meeting, but it's worth repeating because it shows this historical achievement as really monumental. When I was in my confirmation process, virtually every Democratic senator showed me their preoccupation with making sure that we completed, that I was going to continue to get a commitment from me to continue the IRA drug price negotiation.
All right, I'm going to mute it here just for a moment. I love you, Bobby, and everything, but, whenever you speak, I feel like, you're on your deathbed here and everything. It sounds like you're going to be dying soon and everything. No offense. I got nothing but love and respect for RFK Jr., but I can't listen to him speak sometimes because it just sounds like he's on his deathbed and he's struggling to get his words out and everything. And it looks like they're not yet talking about what's going on with China. We'll see if they do that, if they do get into talking about what's going on with China. But while they're not talking about it, I'm going to share some things here with you guys. So the entire crypto market cap has gotten down to $3.64 trillion. I was thinking it would go all the way down to like 3.5. Now, if it went down below 3 trillion, I was like, oh God, that's bear market territory there. But where we're at right now, this is still showing a lot of strength, and a lot of people still believe in crypto here. And as far as the Bitcoin dominance goes, whoa, man, it looks like my prediction is almost fully realized here because now it is at 61.2%. I was thinking it was going to be going up to like 63% gradually and slowly through Q4. Well, now it's at 61.2%. I do think it goes higher. And it probably tops out at 63. Once it tops out at 63, though, it might stay there for a while. But then I think that's when Bitcoin is going to reverse course, and that's when the alt season comes in. Don't ask me when that's going to be. But for the most part, we have not had really any of the good part of this cycle here yet because it just hasn't done anything that it typically does. A lot of people say, oh, well, Cairo, you keep saying that the bull run hasn't started and the bull run's going on longer, so you're arguing that this time it's different. No, I'm not. Well, you know what? The only thing I'm arguing that's different is that the cycle is delayed and it's taking longer. You know what you bears are arguing? You bears are arguing that this time it's different because what you're saying is that this time we're going to have a bull run where Bitcoin dominance never goes below 53%. That is different from previous bull cycles. The altcoins never go above their previous cycle market cap. I'm talking like collectively all of the altcoins ex Bitcoin, because in the previous bull run, their entire combined market cap was 1.6 trillion, and it hasn't gone above that. It's definitely a lot lower also if you subtract the stable coins from it. What else is different is that many altcoins are still down below their 2017 cycle tops. And before all this chaos happened, plenty of altcoins were below their 2017 cycle tops. Cardano was down below its 2017 top. Algorand down below its 2017 top. I posted it on X earlier today. The deal was that many of the altcoins, or many of the coins just in the top 200, many of those coins were down below the 2017 peak. And you're telling me we were in a bull run? What kind of bull run is it where only Bitcoin and Binance succeed and have any sort of new highs? If you're a bear, you're also arguing that this time it's different because this time there's so little retail participation. I proved that on the last stream. This time, people aren't searching on Google for altcoins or for even Bitcoin or crypto itself. People aren't downloading the Coinbase app, and you can't say it's because there's a bunch of other exchanges. Coinbase is the most popular one, and I think if you type in crypto, it's on one of the very first. It's on the very first search engine result page. I think it's the first crypto exchange that's on the results page. you would also be arguing that this time we're having a bull run while quantitative tightening is going on. There is no bull run while quantitative tightening is occurring. It just doesn't go together. It's not possible, y'all. NJ Dub says, damn, I got no dry powder. Buying Sonic at 10 cents would have literally been free cash. Yeah, absolutely. Get Sonic at 10 cents is incredible. I wish like my original basis in it was 10 cents. Like the lowest price I ever got for Sonic was 16 cents. Now I think I get to lower my cost basis a lot more. Pretty excited about that. See, Kennedy is still speaking. Like I love Kennedy. I just don't want to hear his voice right now. And like what we want is we want to hear from like when Lutnick or Trump gets back on there, when they start getting questions, that's when we want to hear, okay, somebody else is getting up here. Let's hear him.
He'll take your place, Pascal.
Oh, Pascal, I get to introduce Pascal, which I'll do with great joy and honor. So the world is watching as President Trump tries to make peace in every place he can go. But at the same time, President Trump is putting peace into the hearts of Americans and bringing peace of mind to them, especially Americans who cannot afford their medications. And just to put a number on this,
still talking about
as he releases us from the bondage of paying 3 times more for the exact same product made in the same factory, in the same pill box,
play a little bit here. I gotta
instruction
take a
manual
right back.
overseas, rather in this country than we pay overseas. It creates an opportunity for us because, Mr. President, you're turning the art of the deal into the art of the heel. And that is something that you're going to witness today. And it's the second, we have more coming, but this is a very important one because I want to set the stage here. And Ms. Secretary, you're too modest. Secretary Kennedy did have a vision to push hard on this. He understood we could give the right medications to the right people at the right time. And there is nothing more maha than giving folks life-saving medications in a timely fashion so you prevent illnesses and treat other ones that have already occurred. You save lives that way. That literally is what was on the line as we began negotiating these. So let's set the stage. Where are we right now? Why this order? Last week in this very room, President Trump welcomed the CEO of Pfizer, and that company, a leading U.S. pharmaceutical company, pledged to provide exactly what the president promised. Massive discounts to allow us to have most favored nation drug pricing in this country so we don't allow our people to pay more than folks overseas. And this was unthinkable even 6 months ago, 7 months ago when we came into office. And Americans now have the ability to do that, but we needed to prove it was scalable. So we went to AstraZeneca, which is the leading pharmaceutical company,
so
a leading
about
company
like this
in the entire
healthcare
world.
thing that we don't really care about. When Lutnick gets up there, I'll unmute it and everything. Because Lutnick being Secretary of Commerce, he's going to have a lot to say about these tariffs. Guys, here's what I'm rooting for, actually. I know that this kind of sucks to kind of root for this here because you don't want to see our president take an L, but I'm actually kind of rooting now that the Supreme Court rules these tariffs unconstitutional so we don't have any more hiccups in the cycle like this here. And also, I think that would get the money printer turned on faster because if the tariffs are ruled unconstitutional and they all have to be refunded, well, then the national deficit is going to expand and grow to like astronomical levels. And the only way you're going to be able to get anything under control ever again is by the money printer. You're going to have to print the money to bring that deficit down. That's what's going to happen because this would be like the worst. If they refunded all the tariffs, that would make us have like the worst deficit that we ever had in peacetime. Like we've had some pretty bad deficits in wartime, but there was an excuse. Here we don't really have an excuse. We should not be running deficits like we are running right now, even with the tariffs. So I'm kind of hoping that that Supreme Court decision goes that way just so we don't have any more hiccups like this. I know that's not a nice thing to hope for, and I know that would make the president look really bad, probably make the United States look pretty bad and everything. But hey, I can be selfish, right? Man, you all understand our bags are the most important things in the world, right? Yep. Let's see. Let me try to do this here. Like, I'm going to just turn the volume down, but then turn it back on. So, like, while I'm looking at our things here.
We also have MFN for all new prescription drugs. Mr. President, by the time this term is done, 95% of all drugs sold in America, branded drugs and generic, will be available at a most favored nation drug pricing. Americans are going to benefit if the prices drop abroad. So Secretary Lutnick is going to make sure that if we get better prices for these companies from our partner countries overseas, the American people see those benefits. And there's going to be onshoring of manufacturing. And as has been mentioned, I stood with Governor Youngkin and Pascal Serio as we broke ground yesterday in Charlottesville, Virginia, in a massive $4 billion facility. That's the hard hat, Mr. President. I know you like construction, so that was all I could bring back. But there was a lot of remarkable energy. And here's what that event really does. It sends a signal. It sends a signal for all countries around the world to stop freeloading off American innovation. It's done. It's not going to happen anymore with this president. And if you aren't picking up your end of the bargain, then you're going to be welcoming a lot of more companies to leave your shores and allow us to welcome them into our shores as they open up manufacturing facilities here. And for all the pharmaceutical companies out there, we're talking to all of you, pick up a shovel. This is a great place to build a facility, as AstraZeneca has shown us. And I think it has a wonderful opportunity in the future as well as this country continues to support the innovation Secretary Kennedy spoke about, because we're not compromising that at all. We're just getting fair prices for the American people. To the team, tough negotiations, Mr. President. You know how hard they can be. You can't get there without world-class negotiators, and we are blessed by individuals to work with the AstraZeneca team who are killers, head-to-head. And why? Because talented people out of the private sector are coming into government to serve this president in a generational opportunity that they feel in their heart will make a difference. John Brooks is part of that team. Chris Klump, Inma Hernandez, numerous other folks contributed as well. But we're open for business. And if you want a great position and a patriot, like the folks who negotiated these deals, please consider coming with us, because the president has made it clear that you will make a difference in government. Finally, I want to thank Pascal Serio. Pascal's an interesting, almost enigmatic individual. He's the CEO of AstraZeneca. He is born in France, Australian citizen, knighted in Great Britain, running their largest pharmaceutical company. So you figure out the lineage. But one thing I know is a very smart man who came here early on, took the president seriously, and he recognized the inherent unfairness of the European model of global freeloading of our innovation. He appreciated the challenge, and he wanted to be part of the solution. So, Pascal, take it away.
Wait a minute. Actually, I might go to...
Thank you so much. So, President Trump, it is really a pleasure to see you again, since I had a chance to meet you last time you visited the UK for your state visit. I know the King actually kept you late during the night, during your visit, late up at night. And I must thank you, actually, for returning the favor. I can tell you, you've kept me up at night, and my team as well. But it has been really worth it. It's been worth it because today I'm really excited to announce AstraZeneca's commitment to your vision for a healthy America. Great leadership is about having an ambitious vision that can energize people, and you appoint a very talented team that can deliver on this. Your vision is exactly that. It is about lowering the price of medicines for American patients.
Talking about medicine.
While ensuring
I wonder if they're even going to talk about what's
going
on here. I'm
starting to get skeptical in biopharmaceuticals.
Talk about that.
And that's not easy to do. We need to keep inventing the technologies and the products that will cure disease. But you actually gave us a key, equalization.
I'm not going to buy right now because you know what?
You've assembled a remarkable team, actually, that together with us, found a way to deliver on your vision.
Because like a lot of people that are at work right now,
for your collaborative and your trusting approach throughout the discussion that led to this agreement.
Oh my God, look how far it went down!
Secretary Lutnick, I'd like to thank Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Oz, and the CMS team, in particular John Brooks, who is here today, but also Chris Klump, for their very straightforward approach and their collaborative work that, together with my great team at AstraZeneca, enabled us to deliver this agreement today. It is an agreement that allows a number of wins. First of all, a great win for American patients. This agreement will deliver improved access to our medicines at a lower cost. We've addressed the 4 points that you raised in your letter, ensuring Americans do not pay more than patients in other wealthy countries. So it's a big win for patients and
It
the
all
healthcare
just like
system.
times out
as a
everything.
whole.
No, I know it's
But
not
it's also a
post-game
big win
problem,
for the
it's a
economy
problem.
and for taxpayers.
Because
It
don't have the
supports
same problem
rebalancing
with,
the
internet.
cost of innovation across wealthy nations. For too long, America has shouldered a disproportionate portion of the
Hex.com
world's
Army says,
R&D
Hex, let me
cost
check
for
that here. How's that doing
development.
in all this?
That imbalance is not sustainable. It had to change. And equalization
These,
levels the
prices
playing
are
field.
up. They kind
With
of
wealthy
flatlined
nations
here.
contributing their fair share to the
Good,
cost
yeah.
and the risk associated
Yeah.
with biopharmaceutical.
Yeah, the
biotech.
whole RH
And I would say it's also a
ecosystem
big
barely
win
took
for
a hit in
state
all of this.
budgets because these
Isn't
Medicaid
that
price
encouraging?
reductions will have an immediate
You guys
impact
are told
on Medicaid
multiple
budgets and
times
provide
from
substantial
everybody
relief
from
to state budgets.
Ivan on tech.
Finally,
I
your
like to call
vision
now
also secures
imbecile on
America's strong
You're
position in
told
life
from
sciences
imbecile on tech
and the
all the way up
onshoring
to
of
Pit
critical
Boy
innovations
that
and
Hex is
manufacturing.
dead,
As
and
a
that Paul's
company, we
pain
will
is
invest
terrible.
$50 billion in
It held
manufacturing and
its
in R&D.
ground
We already have a large presence
magnificently
in the United States.
throughout
We
this
have 19
pandemic, because we
sites
got
and we
all
employ
of the
25,000 people
weak-handed
around the
idiots
country.
out, I
They're all
think.
developing
Or at
the
least
new
we got a
generation of
giant chunk of
medicines.
them out.
But we'll continue to increase our presence
Either
in
that
this
or,
country.
like,
We're expanding our manufacturing
they all use
footprint in
MetaMask,
Texas.
MetaMask is giving
We're
them
building our
the
second
troubles
large
me.
R&D center in Kendall Square in Boston. We are building a cell therapy manufacturing plant in Rockville, Maryland, and there's more to come. So a lot of investment over the next few years. I want to say that I appreciate very much Secretary Letnick granting us a 3-year tariff exemption to localize the remainder of our products. Most of our products are locally manufactured, but we need to transfer the remaining part to this country. And also for your great support to convince also other wealthy countries to share the cost.
When you log into MetaMask, does it take you like a very long time to log into it and unlock it? Anybody else have that problem?
Around the world.
I've been having that problem
Yesterday,
a lot lately.
showcased our commitment to the United States with this $4.5 billion investment in the beautiful Commonwealth of Virginia to manufacture what we call API, active ingredients for our medicines, but also antibody-drug conjugates that are such a critical part of the future treatment of cancer care.
Yeah, the French AstraZeneca guy. So what I was saying was, like, anybody else have this problem with MetaMask where, like, when you go to log into it, it takes forever to log in? Because I've been having that problem a lot lately. Or, like, I go to unlock it, and you click unlock, and it just gives you the circle where it's just clocking and clocking and clocking. Not doing nothing. It's pitiful, man. Absolutely pitiful. Okay, now it's finally working. Alright. Make sure that, like, AstraZeneca is not going on there. Yes, Kryptonite. MetaMask has been very slow, especially on Pulse Chain. I've experienced that too. It has been, like, sucking and sucking real bad. It's like, I run every other wallet on it. Well, I did run Rabby. Now we can't do that no more. But, like, I run Internet Money on it. It works just fine. But when you run it with MetaMask, it just sucks. Like, did they secretly pull the rug on us without telling us? Like, at least Rabby had, like, the decency to tell us, but not can update it, deleted it, and downloaded the latest. Now it's better. Okay, all right. You know what? I'll give that a try. Looks like somebody else is going to come up here and talk. Who are they going to get now? Still not Lutnick.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everyone for celebrating this landmark moment. This landmark moment is not just a moment to announce a new way to buy less expensive life-saving medicine, but it is a step function change in the way that Virginians and Americans can access medicines. And it is a step function change because historically there was an opaque pricing mechanism that had so many people standing between the manufacturers and the patients that no one knew really what it cost. Well, now we can go direct to consumers. And that's what Trump RX is all about, going direct to consumers, where a consumer can come and find that particular medication that they need and go direct to the company and get the best possible price. Second of all, the most favored nation clause is a groundbreaking moment. It's a groundbreaking moment because, as you've heard, that American customers have been paying 3, 4, 5 times what international customers have been paying.
Okay, yeah, I definitely don't want to go on to CowSwap. Don't want to do that, because like the Ethereum fees now to send a transaction is $40. Goodness gracious. Yeah, $40 fee on Ethereum? Heck no. Yeah, in that case, I think I will just buy on Coinbase, even though I really shouldn't. Yeah, don't ever buy directly on Coinbase. The fees are insane. But probably got to do it now just because of like how clogged the network is. Yeah, that's probably like why the fees look pretty insane on Coinbase right now. All right, so I want to get a little bit of Athena. I'm going to get that. Able to scoop up some there. I want to get a little bit of Crow. Some USDC. Wish I'd left some USDC on all the different chains. Well, you see, the thing with me is whenever I'm like, whenever I've traded or whenever I've bought something, immediately you want to move it to the Trezor. So didn't really want to connect the Trezor right now, because that's a process in itself. Like, should leave some in like the hot wallet on a MetaMask or something. Should have done that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. What's Sui trading at? I could always go for some more Sui. Yeah, back up at $3. Man, you would have made some serious money on that trade if you were able to buy some Sui just now, because it went down to $2. Like, catch that bid right there is incredible. Like, even XRP was down below. XRP was down below $2. Oh, you know what I did want? I want some Ondo. I'll buy a little bit of that Ondo Finance. And the fees on Coinbase really suck. But, you know, this is not necessarily tax advice, but the one thing you can do with the fees on Coinbase is you can use them to increase your cost basis for your taxes. And you see, that reduces how much profit you have to report. And when you're... Oh, Trump, so you can hear.
In commitments and investments in our country. As an example, the last administration was far less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're at plus $18 trillion for 8 months. There's never been anything like it in history, in any country, anywhere in the world. So that's great. But maybe for purposes of this, more importantly, we're going to bring drug prices down at numbers that nobody ever thought possible, Glenn. I think nobody ever even thought it was possible. So we're going to be doing a lot of business, but we're going to be also numbers that when you're 2, 3, 4, 500% less. I just noticed one of them over here, 654% discount. 654. The laggard is 98%, right? 9 is that what? Wow, 96, 230%, but 654, and we have some that top that by a lot. So it's really going to be incredible, and that's going to be so good for Medicaid and Medicare and everything. Frankly, for your life, it's going to be so good. So nobody ever thought they were going to see. And don't let Democrats take the credit, because, you know, they'll try. They'll say, "Oh, we worked so hard," and they didn't work hard. They did. They obstructed. They actually did the opposite. So that's really more important than even the tremendous investments being made in our country. But think of it: we cracked 18 trillion with a T, $18 trillion, and frankly, 1 trillion for 4 years wasn't that bad. He did less than $1 trillion, but we did that in a period of 8 months. So it's pretty record-shattering by many trillions of dollars. Any country, no matter what country you're talking about, nobody's done numbers like that. So thank you all for being here. Do you want to have a couple of questions? Yeah, please.
Mr. President, One on this, if I could, and one on China, if I may. Okay. First on this, could you have brought these pharmaceutical companies to the table without that 100% tariff that you imposed?
Well, it's not 100%. You're talking about China might be 100%.
Here's what we want to hear about.
On pharmaceuticals for that sector.
I would never have been able to bring them. Now, I'm not sure that Pascal would like to say, but behind the scenes he did say tariffs were a big reason he came here, and also the fact he loved Virginia. He liked this guy. He liked me. I think the November 5th election was a very important date. We had a good election, and that was important. But yeah, he's here. A lot of. I can speak for almost everybody that's here. Most of them are here because of tariffs, because you have to understand he has no tariffs. If you build in this country, there are no tariffs. So.
I'm going to ask you about China, if I could. Just want to confirm: have you canceled your meeting with President Xi? And
no, I haven't canceled, but I don't know that we're going to have it. But I'm going to be there regardless, so I would assume we might have it. But you know, they hit the world with something that really is not anything that people are going to do, and it was shocking. I can tell you, Howard and I and Todd, we all Scott, we were all speaking about it before. And we said, where did that come from? It was just, that was out of the blue, right? Out of the blue, they came up with this whole import-export concept, and nobody knew anything about it. So.
If they roll back their export controls, the new announcement, would you roll back?
Look, we're going to have to see what happens. That's why I made it November 1st. We'll see what happens, yeah.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, please.
What else besides software could be on the table in terms of export controls?
A lot more. I mean, you have software, but you have a lot more. We have airplanes. We have airplane parts. You remember that from last time. And we were just surprised at China. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and they did that. This is not something that I, instigated. This was just a response to something that they did. And they didn't really aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world. The whole world is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad. But we have many things, including a big thing is airplanes. They have a lot of Boeing planes, and they need parts and lots of things like that. Steve?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to accept the Gaza deal, and what will be your message to the Knesset when you speak to them?
Well, he wanted it. It's been a long time. He's been fighting a long time. He's been fighting hard. He wanted it. It's a great deal for Israel, but it's a great deal for everybody, for Arabs, for Muslims, for everybody, for the world. And as you know, on Monday the hostages come back. They're getting them now. I mean, they're getting them now. They're in some pretty rough places under earth. They're in some pretty rough places where only a few people know where they are, in some cases. So they're getting them, and they're also getting the bodies, approximately 28 bodies. And some of those bodies are being unearthed right now as we speak. I mean, they're working on it right now as we speak. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. No, he was very happy with it. And I can tell you that I saw Israel dancing in the streets, but they were dancing in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE and many, many countries. I saw Egypt. They were dancing. I'll be going to Israel. I'll be speaking at the Knesset, I think, early on. And then I'm also going to Egypt. They were terrific. But all of the countries were great. Indonesia was great. Jordan was great. They were all great. Everybody,
Let's get back
everybody
to the
wants
trade
this deal
agreement.
to happen.
May I ask a question about that?
The day after the hostage release.
Day after what?
The day after the hostage release, what happens there then?
Well, hopefully you're going to have great success I call it everlasting success. I think you will, too. I think you're going to have tremendous success, and Gaza is going to be rebuilt. And you have some very wealthy countries, as you know, over there. And it would take a small fraction of their wealth to do that. But and I think they want to do
good,
it.
Actually, if there's
we're also
of course, that's
setting up, as you know, a board of peace. It's
down.
called the Board of Peace. I don't know if that's the final name, but the word peace is definitely in there. They have asked me if I chair it. We'll make sure things go well.
And how confident are you that the ceasefire will hold?
I think it'll hold. Yeah, I think it'll hold. They're all tired of the fighting. Don't forget, you had October 7th, which was a horrible day, 1,200 people killed. But Hamas has lost 58,000 people. That's big retribution. That's big retribution. People understand that. So, no, I think they're all tired of fighting, and this really gives the whole Middle East. This is beyond Gaza. Gaza is very important, but this is beyond Gaza. This is peace in the Middle East, and it is a beautiful thing. You know, it's a term that you and I have been hearing since we were very young, right? And now we have a chance of really having that. And as you know, most of the countries have passed all these resolutions. Every country is there. Iran came in. I was very happy to see that. I was very honored that Iran came in. They said they support it. Russia came in. President Putin, he supports it fully, very fully. So I was happy to see even countries that weren't necessarily involved in the process, they all support it. I don't know of anybody that does it. And I've never seen happier people than many of these places, not just Israel. Many of these places, they're all dancing in the streets. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, go ahead, please, in the back.
Thank you. What guarantees did you give Hamas to persuade them that Israel will restart the bombing campaign once the hostages have been exchanged?
What did I do with respect to them? Well, you know, I spoke a little bit tough, and that's what would happen. I mean, you have to speak tough. That's a tough world.
Market seems
tough, as they say, neighborhood.
Bitcoin's heading back up,
and they're tough people. They're very tough people, and they're smart people. They're good negotiators. They have a lot of things going. They put that to good use. They're going to be very, very successful. But they knew the retribution would be tremendous, unsustainable. It would have been unsustainable. It would have been complete obliteration, and they didn't want that. And nobody wants it at this point. They want to get on with rebuilding the entire Middle East. It's not only Gaza. It's going to be the entire Middle East. They're going to be able to live in peace. Now, we have some little hot spots, but they're very small. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're very small. They'll be very easy to put out. Those fires are going to be put out very quickly. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Talking about the Middle East still, going to the phases that come after this first phase, is there a consensus on the additional points in your plan, or are the details still being fine-tuned?
I think there is consensus on most of it, and some of the details, like anything else, will be worked out, because you'll find out that when you're sitting in a beautiful room in Egypt, it's easy to work something out, but then sometimes it doesn't work from a practical standpoint. So certain little things, but for the most part, there's consensus, yes.
Do you intend to hash that out when you're in Egypt?
I might, yeah. I mean, I'll be there because I'll be going to, I'll go to Cairo. I think that's where we're going. As opposed to the place of the
he's going to go to me.
Signing. And we have a lot of leaders from all over the world coming too. They've been invited. And then I'm coming back, I believe it's Tuesday night, for Charlie Kirk, a friend of mine, a friend of all of ours, a friend of a lot of the people right here. And we're giving him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor you get outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. One's military, one's civilian, but it's the greatest honor. And Erica, his beautiful wife, is going to be here, and a lot of people are going to be here. So, it's not easy for me to get back. It's a very quick trip, but I'll be making 2 major stops, and then I'll be on the plane trying to get back in time for Charlie. They're going to have a great celebration at the White House, in the East Room of the White House.
Mr. President. Russell Vogt said the reductions in force have begun related to this shutdown. How many layoffs have you authorized for this first round, and from which agencies?
And it'll be Democrat-oriented, because we figure, they started this thing, so they should be Democrat-oriented. It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days, but it'll be a lot of people, all because of the Democrats. I mean, they want to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into the country illegally. More important than that, because we all have a big heart. We want people to be taken care of, but we have 0 people coming in. You know that, Glenn, right? That's a pretty impressive number, even for a successful governor. But we've had, for the last 4 months, 0 people coming in illegally. They're coming in, but they're coming in legally. They're coming in through a process that's really a really good process right now, because we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. So what we're doing is, as these different groups come due, we're going to make a determination. Do we want them a lot? And I must tell you, a lot of them happen to be Democrat-oriented. These are people that the Democrats wanted, that in many cases were not appropriate. We fought them at the time, and it was ultimately signed in. And some of these people, these are largely people that the Democrats want Many of them will be fired. Yes, please, behind.
The Nobel Peace Prize was announced this morning. Your thoughts?
Which one?
No, I haven't been to Cairo. I'll tell you where the name
Look, including a very big one, and I'm not sure, when you say big, it's certainly, I think, to the mind of most, the most important deal ever made in terms of peace. But the one we just signed, it's been signed, sealed, and it's going to start taking place now. It's already started. Monday's going to be a very big day when the hostages come back. But I made 8 deals, transactions of wars. One was 31 years going on. 10 million people were killed. One was 34 years. One was 36, 37. One was 10. One was just starting. 2 were just starting, actually, but they were well on their way. In the case of India and Pakistan, 7 planes were shot down. It was a bad one. And I did it largely through trade. I mean, that one, numerous of them. I talked tariffs. I said, look, if you're going to do that, we're going to put very big tariffs on your country. And they were both great. They stopped fighting, and there were 2 nuclear powers. So, they're all big. They're every one of them big. You take a look at the Congo. You take a look at the Congo and Rwanda. 10 million people killed over a long period of time. Got that one solved. We did a total of 8 as of this. 2 days ago, I would have said 7, which I did say, but the other one was signed up, sealed. As you know, Israel signed it just now. They signed it and they approved it today, their parliament. And it's a great honor to be involved with so many. So the person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. A very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me, though. I think she might have. She was very nice. And I've been helping her along the way. They need a lot of help in Venezuela. It's a basic disaster. So, and you could also say it was given out for 24, and I was running for office in 24. All of the transactions that we did in terms of closing. But there are those that say we did so much that they should have done it. But I'm happy because I saved millions of lives. Many millions of lives. And speaking of somebody that saves lives, don't ever play golf with it because Keegan Bradley just walked in, one of the greatest golfers in the world, the captain of the Ryder Cup. And, man, I'll tell you, you did a good job. You almost came back. I turned on. I said, I sort of turned off. It wasn't looking good. And then a little while later I turned on. I said, you guys might make that would have been the miracle. What a great job. He's respected by those golfers like nobody. And I just want to compliment you, Keegan. That was a incredible job. Right here we have a lot of unfriendly fake news media, and he's not used to that. He's used to getting only good publicity, I think, Howard. These are all golfers, but you're some golfer, I'll tell you that, and some leader. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you, Keegan.
Mr. President, on China.
Yeah, please.
On immigration, ICE are making arrests, target arrests at courthouses in New York City and around the country.
Criminals, arresting criminals, that's right. Yeah, go ahead. I'm happy about it. I want them to arrest criminals. And if you take a look at D.C., a year ago, D.C. was our great capital was a very unsafe place. You know that. Some of you were mugged and talk openly about it. Some of the media was mugged. But right now, D.C. is one of the safest places in the whole country. The restaurants are booming. They're opening up new restaurants. The restaurants are all closing. Now you can't get into a restaurant. They're opening up new restaurants. It took 12 days for us. We sent in not politically correct military. We sent them in based on merit. We won the case in the Supreme Court. Everything now is based on merit. Our country was founded on things based on merit. Like Keegan Bradley is not going to be playing golf if he wasn't a great player. If he shoots lower scores, there's no more merit system than that one, Keegan, right? If you miss a putt, they don't say, oh, that's okay, let's take it again, do they? No, it's based on merit. Everything's based on merit. And we're back to the merit system. And when they saw that military is all about merit. They're big, strong people that they're patriots too. And you take a look at D.C., and now we're in Memphis, and Memphis was really crime-ridden. It was terrible. A lot of people being killed. And they say in 12 days they can't even believe how much better it is. And It'll take probably a month over there, and we're heading to Chicago because we want to save Chicago. Do you know they had over 4,000 people killed in Chicago over a short 4,000 people, and I have to watch this slob of a governor stand up and say that, well, everything's okay, we've got it under control. They had 4,000 people murdered over a very short period of time. There's not a city in the world, I don't believe, that can claim, you know, you hear so much about.
All right, so he's not really talking about the trade deal here. Like, well, if it keeps going right here, we'll listen in again to see if he's going to talk about the trade deal. Everybody let me know how my audio is here, if y'all can hear me just fine, because I heard, like, some people saying the video was playing loud, but I wasn't coming through or anything. So let me know if you can't hear me or anything. Here's what everybody should do right now, though. Here's what you should do. Go over to Ivan on Tech and troll him because he's crying that everything is going down. We'll send him a screenshot of the prices holding just fine in Hex, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and the incentive token. Because we held just fine throughout this flash crash that everybody else panicked and capitulated in. And everything that Ivan ever promoted took a great big Jurassic dump. An absolute dump. So go troll him.
He builds a store, they build it out of plywood, and they don't put up storefronts anymore. They just put wood up because they know it's going to be ripped down. And then I hear how wonderful it is. It's not wonderful. It's a disaster. That's almost an insurrection, that place. So we put our people in there, and they do the job, and they've really done the job. And the beautiful thing is we've done it. 12 days we had this place safe, and now it's, I would say within a month, it was beautiful. And it continues to be. That was 3 months ago. I'll tell you, D.C. now is one of the hottest places, just like this country. We were a dead country, and you've heard me say it 100 times. We were a dead country. King of Saudi Arabia said it. Others say. The Emir of Qatar said it. Many. UAE said it. The leader, great leader, UAE, all great leaders. They said effectively the same thing. 1 year ago, we had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I just want to thank everybody, and I want to, in particular, thank AstraZeneca. What a great company you have. What a company you've built. You've been there a long time and done some job. It's an honor to have you. I assume you're going to build, so it's $4.5 billion for a plant. That's a pretty big plant, isn't it? I was going to say, could he make it a little bit more? Well, we have a couple of them where they're going to spend $65 billion on one plant, you know, AI. All I know is it's, you know, AI is based on information. I hope they're right about information. I don't know.
Oh, I got
a lot of money to. There's got to be a lot of information out there, but that seems to be pretty hot. But we have a lot. We're leading the world on information on AI, as you know, by a lot. It's not even close. So we're doing a job, and I want to thank everybody, but in particular, Pascal. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is this the end here?
Thank you, everybody. Have a good time.
Thank you, press. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's the end of it. All right, so not too much being said there about the trade deal going on, but the market seemed to have liked what he had said because it is going back up here. Let's see, Bitcoin's at 113. Is it right? 113? Oh, no, it's at 112,000. It'll be pretty wild right here. But there is like some recovery going on. Let me show you the charts. Here's oh, wait a minute. Let me show you this first here. This is what I like doing right here. So Ivan is over here complaining about how his coins are going down. He's complaining because look, everything is like down 50% on all of the coins that he likes. So I tweeted this here. I said, hey, Ivan, Pulse Chain sends you a middle finger and a smile. We held fine while the trash you promoted crashed. Everybody, please go troll this idiot Ivan and tell him the exact same thing. Please do. Right? He deserves it for being such a jerk this cycle. All right. So everything's getting like a pretty good boost right here in the last hour. We got some green candles coming in. Everybody realized that they were panicking and acting like a bunch of idiots. Just in like the top 40 here. So, oh no, wait, Ondo just popped. Oh, look at this here. We got some green candles coming in for everything. Oh, man, you could have got a really good deal on Caspa right there. Because, like, Caspa was down to 2 cents, right? Man, I wish I didn't miss that. Wish I hadn't missed it. But, yeah, got a stream for you guys. Sonic is down to where I originally bought it at. I'm going to need to buy some more of it here. It's 16 cents. I hope you guys appreciate what I do here for y'all, because, man, I just missed some buys of the century to stay on stream here with you. Oh, hey, where's Root at? That's still down. You want to talk about something that's really bad and something that's really sucking this cycle? Look no further than GameFi. GameFi has had like the worst cycle of its life, or the worst performance in the history of bad performance. It's like absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing what's happening with GameFi. You think like what's going on with Pulse Chain's bad? No, what's going on with GameFi is absolutely worse. Absolutely worse. But look at this here. This is exactly what I saw this morning when I checked the Pulse Chain prices. We really held on. I mean, eHex is a real star right here for hanging on like it has. Absolutely impressive by eHex there. But still, everything else right here kind of staying right where it was at. No panic, no whining, no bitching or anything. Refreshed it again here to make sure that it was all still good. We're doing pretty good here. How about the 6 hour? Even on the 6 hour, and even on the 1 hour, everything is just fine over here in Pulse Chain land, because all of the panicky, weak-handed idiots must be out, all right? Jail Rat Crypto sold his bag, and he's not coming back. And let's see, who are some of our scumbags? Brandon BBB sold his bag and is never coming back. Well, he'll be coming back when it's all at $1 a piece. Who else can we pick on? See, I'll pick on people that have like definitely become heretics to the whole Pulse Chain ecosystem. I don't want to pick on people that are still in the system. Like, there's people I disagree with. There's a lot of hexagons I disagree with and vehemently disagree with. But I don't want to call them out and call them names and everything just because we got a disagreement. Because, like, I guarantee you, when these prices go up, that's when they're going to start being all pro Pulse Chain and everything. They're going to stop being so bearish. And I understand why you guys are bearish. Hey, man, this was something I heard on a lot of streams today. I think I heard it on Wendy-O, and I heard it on, who else did I listen to? BitBoy probably said it too. A lot of streams that I was listening to, what I heard is like, yeah, people are angry. Absolutely angry. Very, very angry. And you know what? I totally understand being angry. See, I listened to Crypto Coffee today, Lark Davis, and all of them. They said, yeah, a lot of the altcoin bag holders are very, very angry because what happened is like you probably bought in at the lows in 2022 and 2023. And you held all this time believing that the 4-year cycle was an unbreakable truth. And now here we are at the end of the 4 years and your bags are still not in profit. And your family and your friends who talked trash to you and told you that you must be insane for putting your money in these assets. They told you you're crazy and everything, or you're stupid. But you believed, like you believed very faithfully. And the stuff is still not in profit yet. So yes, there's going to be a whole lot of anger there. Absolutely. I understand the anger. It's totally justified. But you see, the problem here is not that you believed. The problem is not that you bought and you held. The problem is what you believed was just not true, or that what you believed was not the whole truth. You believe that there is a cycle. You believe there is a 4-year cycle. The cycle part is true. The 4-year cycle is not true. Not true. All right, now I'm going to have like some more to say about that here. Now back to like the rest of the stuff here that we want to take a look at. Let's refresh the news here on CNBC. Do I got anything to say here? Nothing yet. Really nothing there. We do got a story here we got to talk about. Francis Macron reappoints former Minister Lecornu as Prime Minister. Oh, I'm going to have a lot to say about this. We'll come back to that story, though. Dollar index basically staying right where it's at. How about the treasuries? They're staying right where they're at, too. All right, so we'll be getting into all of those stories and a whole lot more. What just happened kind of changes what I had planned for this stream here today, but that's all right. So, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. If you want a copy of this book for free, Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice, you can get a copy of this book for free. All you got to do is head on over to my Substack, which is reinventideal.substack.com. That's reinventideal.substack.com. And just click right here where it says free gift. You click there where it says free gift, and you scroll down here where it says Your Parents Were Wrong, and you subscribe. It's absolutely free, costs you absolutely nothing. And you will not regret it, I promise you. You will enjoy the book. It's a great thing to read when you get a little bit of downtime. It's bite-sized chapters you can read on the toilet. I want to check something out right here. Hang on. It says QE only occurs in an emergency situation while rates are zero. Fed will not do QE until then. Could it happen in the next 4 years? Okay. Yeah. What did I want to say? Well, I'll respond to him later. There's a new quant guy on Twitter. New quant guy on Twitter that I'm having I'm really enjoying his stuff. He is somewhat bearish though, but I'm really enjoying his charts that he puts up. All right, so let's check the chat here. Where is everything going? Let's see. Everybody get your questions in. Don't worry. I will read through them all at the end here and everything. If you got questions for me, we'll get to them all, I promise. But go ahead and get them in right here because, man, it's the biggest chat I've ever had actually here. Or biggest in like the sense of most things being said. Well, let's start talking about some of the stories that I wanted to cover here today. I guess we may as well start with the stupidity of Ivan, since I just trolled him a while back here. Where was that story? Or where was that stupidity? There was something like really dumb that he said earlier today. Or something I wanted to highlight to him that was really dumb. Where did I put it? Is that here somewhere? That's what I want to start with. You guys getting to see like all of the stuff I got planned to cover here today. I'm gonna have to like really zip right through it because, man, a lot had gone on today that was unexpected. Where was it? Okay, here I want to answer this question today, and well, I think you guys like saw what I posted earlier because this was something that was directed at Ivan as well here. The idea that we're in a bull market. I mean, did today look like a bull market at all? Of course not. But here's something that is like very telling to me about it is this chart that I found here today. Well, this chart's off of CoinMarketCap. Hey, I wonder where Algorand is at right now. Maybe we could look at Algorand live right now. Where is it? Oh my God, it's at 15 cents. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Look at that, 15 cents. Now, why is this a big deal? The thing, when it launched, it was at $3.15. So it's down $3, down 95% from where it was when it first launched. Goodness gracious. I mean, 22 cents, it was already down there too. Now it's down a lot more. Why am I bringing this up right here? Why am I bringing this up? Because in a bull market, I should not be able to find charts like this. Because it's not just Algorand, and it's not just after the activity that just occurred. This was this morning when I took this screenshot. I should not be able to do this in a bull run. Because you see, Algo is a respected coin by mainstream crypto. It's even called a blue chip by a lot of people in mainstream crypto. And it's down 93% after 6 years. It's down from its launch price. It's ranked 53rd. And I can find several other coins in the top 200 that are like this. Why do I say top 200? Because the top 200 is 99% of the overall crypto market. Anything outside of the top 200 is practically irrelevant. All right. So when everybody says, whoa, there's too many coins this cycle, 99% of the market cap is in the top 200, so nobody really even notices anything outside of 200. Where's the rest of the market at? How's it doing? 113,575, doing a little bit better. Ethereum, 3,900. All right. So I'll say like what they're going to say is they're going to say, oh, this is a dead cat bounce. I'll be like, no. When Ethereum's back over 4,000, Bitcoin's 115,000, and Solana's back over 200, I can say, yeah, we're back. We're we're so back. I was like, okay, we're back and a little bit better than before. I figured out like why the Coinbase fees were so excruciatingly offensive is because they got to pay the ridiculous Ethereum fees, gas fees that are going on right now. All right. So everything is sucking right now because the money printers are still off. Only one money printer is going right now, and that's China's money printer, until all 4 central banks are printing money. We're not in a bull run. And as long as the Fed is doing quantitative tightening, we're not going to have a bull run. Even if the other 3 banks are printing. Those aren't good enough to overpower quantitative tightening. When you got quantitative tightening going on, it's just not going to happen. All right? You need that quantitative tightening to stop. The only way that stops is if Trump gets his people on the board of governors and they take over the FOMC. That's not going to happen until they get Lisa Cook out of there. All right, and I did find out like some more news about, I found out some more information about what could happen with the Fed. That I don't want to talk about it just yet here because like I don't want to get people to like too hopeful or get them too bearish or anything. I don't want to get anybody too frightened or too hopeful one way or another, because the information that I'm seeing right here, it could go really, really good for us. It could go really, really bad for us. I need more information before I talk about it. So that'll be a stream in the future about what's going to happen with the Fed. All right. Now check this out here. This is something very important here to talk about. Remember when I told you in a live stream back in July that rare earth materials are going to pump? If you don't remember, well, I'll tell you what. Let me refresh your memory, because it was right here in July. Researched it, the more I came to the realization that, yeah, a lot of this environmental movement stuff is bullcrap. It's all just a money racket. But getting off subject here again, sorry. So here was the deal. All right, you had all these rare earths that we need to get from China. We need them particularly for every modern weapon system that we want to sell to Ukraine, that we want to sell to Israel. We're talking radars, lasers, guided missiles. They all need rare earths. Where is all that processed? China. And because it's dirty, because it's difficult, because it's expensive, and because Americans decided they would much rather let tech. All right, you see that, guys? I was talking about the situation that we're suffering from today all the way back in July. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. That's why you should only be listening to me. That's why you should always prioritize watching my streams. Because when you watch my streams, I give you information that you can make some serious money on. Because, check this out. Someone here actually said, hey, I bought because of you, brother. First stream of yours I watched, he bought some share in MP Materials, which was a company I mentioned back on that stream. He bought a few call options on it, and he made a bunch of money from it. So you see that? You watch my streams, and you make money. That's right, everybody. So from now on, I hope that you all learned your lesson. I mean, do you learn anything, and do you make any money watching Ivan on Tech when he gets on there and goes, oh, that we are pushing the button. Look at all this Fugazi. Oh, that's a Pusicons, Hexacons. Oh, how you guys doing? You keep losing money in a bull market. You still think it's a bull market now, Ivan, you big dumb jerk? You still think we're in a bull run? Because the money printer never got turned on. So where was the bull run for most of the coins, especially the trash that you promoted? Because, man, you promoted a whole lot of trash I'm going to need to go back through some of your streams, Ivan, and look at some of the stuff you promoted and see where it's at right now. There's one I remember that had like a really stupid name. I'm going to have to look that one up. A Sunlight, I see your question there. It's the 4 is Bank of China, the ECB, the Federal Reserve, and the Bank of Japan. Bank of Japan there. All right. Man, Kryptonite says, Gway over 100. Haven't seen that in months. I haven't seen that in months either. I think I haven't seen it in at least a year. It's incredible. And that's just from all the congestion on the network. Because, clearly the prices are down. So, why would it be so high priced? Well, a lot of people are rushing in to buy, too. Yeah, there's a lot of people rushing in to sell. But when we take a look at this here and these hourly candles coming in, a lot of people are rushing in to buy. Let me hit refresh. How's it going? Almost back up at 114,000 on Bitcoin. Struggling. And almost back to 200 on Solana. Still struggling there, too. But a lot of people are rushing in to buy right here because, man, these are like some generational buying prices with... you would have made 47% on in the last hour had you bought Filecoin. Filecoin, by the way, is another one of those coins that is down severely from its 2017 cycle top. Because back then, the alt season for 2017 actually was in 2018. And its top there was $24.94. And it's down to $1.52. This should not be happening. 86% down on the all-time. I mean, you would think that this stuff would still be above its 2017 cycle top. And this is, let me remind you, this was also true before today's chaos. This thing was at $2.42 earlier today. So no, we never had no bull market. God damn it, man. I'm trying not to cuss. Here, but what frustrates the heck out of me is how everybody was thinking, we were in a bull market this whole time, because here's the gist of their argument. Here's exactly why they say it. Here's what they say. Number went up high, and because number went up high, that means we in a bull run. I'm trying to sound like Rand Nooner with his Bullwinkle voice. By the way, you can't watch him. Because if you watch Crypto Bander, does he help you make money like I help my people make money? No, he doesn't. Here's what he does. He just gets on there and goes, welcome to Crypto Bander in my little Bullwinkle voice here, and I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of coins that really don't matter and that nobody cares about. Now I'm going to say that the top is in, or I'm going to say that these coins are doomed forever when they bottom out, and nobody's going to buy them when I talk about them, because then after I make that call, the coins go nowhere but up. He likes to declare Ethereum dead before it had a run. But here's another thing about it is crypto, the overall market itself, and this one's just focusing on Bitcoin. When it comes to are we in a bull market or are we in a bear market, it's not just a matter of is the number going up or is the number going down. It's a matter of sentiment. And when we look at the sentiment, it's been pretty neutral this whole cycle ever since the year 2024 rolled around. But we're in a bull market, could number go up? That doesn't mean we're in a bull run. Numbers can go up even in a bear market. I mean, look over here. This was 2022. After the top, we went up a little bit. And then we went back down. But we went up a little bit, even in a bear market. It's kind of like a dead cat bounce or a melt up that they call it. We had another one right here. Prices can go up in a bear market. They call it a bear market rally or a melt up. That doesn't mean we're in a bull market just because the price is going up. What also matters is the sentiment. And we didn't even have any overheating sentiment this whole time. Last time that we had it was January 2024. We had a little bit of overheating in 2023. Remember, 2023, things were going pretty good. I mean, this right here in 2024, this was when the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs were approved. We did have some pretty wild action in 23. I give you that, because we had the money printer going off in 2023. That's what this red spot right over here is signaling some overheating. Or maybe it was this one over here. One of these reds was where the money printer went off for a little bit. All right. And there's going to be, I think the money printer emergencies will be the reason it goes off when it does go off this cycle. Because I do anticipate from what I listened to today, if you listen to Melody Wright's YouTube channel, on her YouTube channel today, she had 2 guests on. They all gave me plenty of reasons to believe, there's going to be an emergency use for the money printer. Tabula Rus, definitely not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I got out of that business a long time ago. Matter of fact, if I was a financial advisor, I'd be a horrible financial advisor because I don't care anymore. I don't really care about what's best for the clients. Now that I realized how much I hated that career, how much I hated all the people, all the clients and everything, I'd be the worst financial advisor on purpose. I put the douche in fiduciary. All right. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, they were talking about a lot of potential banking disasters that are just ahead of us. I wanted to answer this question on stream here today. Why would retail come and buy crypto when the stock market is killing it every day? Why would retail come into a space with endless rug pulls, exploits, scam after scam, and just dog S-word projects when they can just buy stocks and be 2-3x for the year? Retail isn't coming. That's a very good observation. Very interesting question right there. Matter of fact, I would say that it is even
a legitimate question, young man, deserving a legitimate answer. Now then.
I gotta tell you, that was a pivotal moment for me as a kid because, that was the very first time that I ever heard the coyote talk. He wasn't a talking character up until then. So that episode of Roadrunner and Coyote aired, I was like, whoa, he talked right there. Kind of the first time that the Tasmanian Devil talked without doing his but he actually used a real voice with it. Whoa, he speaks? Interesting. So I did post a little answer here for him, but I think I had more to say than just what I put here. A lot of young people have resistance and even outright resentment for the stock market for various reasons. Young people are not invested in the stock market most of the time. You had the meme stock people from Wall Street Bets on Reddit that were investing a lot in it, and they were getting on Robinhood and doing that. But there's not a lot of them right now. One, nobody's got the money. There's lots of socialist ideology in the young people. There's hatred for the boomers. They don't want to help the boomers make money because if you invest in the stock market, you're helping boomers out. A lot of them are intimidated by how complex it is and the learning curve that they're going to have to take because there's a lot to learn about stocks. You don't really have to learn too much to make money in crypto. You do got to learn a little bit to make money in stocks. You got to be investment literate, which most people are not. They got a lot of irrational fears, rampant investment illiteracy, but they don't have the same resentment for crypto. In fact, young people mostly have favorable views of crypto because they do see that that's probably the one chance they have to have any sort of freedom in their life. Crypto is really the only way that you're going to be able to do it right now. You can't do it by working because the jobs don't pay a living wage now, and if there even is any jobs. You're not going to be able to buy a house and build wealth that way. Those days are over because you can't buy a house. So crypto is also becoming more and more merged with stocks with each new ETF, the treasury companies and the public companies that hold some on their balance sheet. They want to tokenize a bunch of stocks. They want to tokenize all of NASDAQ. So we will not just get the young people into crypto, but I may even get some boomer money into crypto when a lot of financial advisors start to recommend those ETFs. And, while stocks are doing well, what I got to remind you is that it's only the top 7 stocks that are doing well. Let me show you this here. And really, the majority of people who invest in stocks, the way that they do it is they are buying mutual funds in their employer-sponsored retirement plan. And typically, the mutual fund that they're buying is this fund or something like it, a index fund. And they think, well, it's the Fidelity 500 index, and it buys a little bit of each of the 500 largest companies. So if I own 500 companies in this mutual fund, I must be fully diversified, right? No, you're not. You are diversified. You're going to own all those companies, but the majority of your money is going into these top 7 companies. We're talking Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Broadcom, Google, and Tesla. In fact, the top 10 make up 37% of the market. If there is volatility or downward pressure on the top 10, it could impact up to 37% of the market. It could really whoop it and cause some serious chaos. If just one of them has a problem, it could devastate the whole market because several mutual funds are invested in those companies. And when several mutual funds are having a problem and having a bad day, what does the average mutual fund stock market investor do? They get emotional and they sell out. All right, so everything that the stock market has done so far this year, it can easily undo it in just a few days. Don't be too concerned about worrying about the stock market outperforming us over here in crypto. All right, because look what we just did over here in the last hour or so. I know the hourly doesn't really show it anymore here, but you saw some of these at here, Kronos, 13% on the hour. It used to be it would take stocks a whole year to do 13%. So for us to be able to do that in just an hour is incredible. All right. I mean, we've seen 30% candles on the hour and everything. All right. See, the real problem is that retail is broke and suffering in this economy. I've got more evidence to show you of that. I mean, for one thing, here in this nice little area that I live in a very nice area. Somebody had their motorcycle stolen here in this very nice area that I live in. It's very fancy and poshy. It's not Beverly Hills, or it's not Maryland. Yeah, Maryland's got some of the richest districts and richest neighborhoods ever. It's not that, but it is. The reason I moved here is because I knew it was going to be 100% safe, just because of how affluent everybody out here is. And somebody just had their motorcycle stolen. All right, and in order to steal the motorcycle, what you had to do was you had to jump the fence to get in here, because it's a gated community and everything. Nobody gets in without the passcode. So somebody just stole a motorcycle from a very rich area. Yeah, the economy is really bad. In fact, if you took out all of the CapEx from AI that was just spent, we would have had 0.2% GDP this past quarterly measurement, Q2. Because that's where all the money went. All the money in the GDP spending for the whole 3.8%, it was just CapEx for AI by the big 7 companies. All right, so what we need QE back. We need QE for poor people. We got to send out the stimulus checks to people first. And when it comes to stocks, the only people who are really getting rich in it are the rich boomers. The boomers are rich because they lived the longest, so they've had all this time to make the money and have it compound for them as well. So, of course, the oldest generation is going to be the richest generation, and that's the boomers. But what we need is for everybody to get better economic circumstances, because this is something else I wanted to look at here. Let's see, Federal Reserve, Fred, data. I always forget what the web address for it is here, but personal savings rate. When I pull this up here, guys, it's not good. This is probably the real story here. Let's just look at the last 5 years. I make it last 10 years, so it's more manageable. Personal savings rate is down to 4.6%. That's not going to move the needle for a lot of things, especially crypto. As we take a look here during the COVID, with all those stimmy checks going out, this was incredible here, because you had the QE for poor people back then. 26% savings rate in 2021, a 31% personal savings rate in 2020. Things were great back then. And here, when we're down below 5%, that's not going to move the needle on a lot of investments. Matter of fact, even in 2017, we were at 6% that whole time. That 1% can make a large difference there. So when we're down below 5%, we're just at 4.6. People just don't have the money to, number one, save, and then two, don't have the money to invest. It's not going to happen. We need that to occur first here before this bull market goes anywhere. And to do that, we're going to need the money printer turned back on. This was something else I saw on X here today that I agree with, that is going on with the business cycle. Wish we could see a clear version of this chart here. Can't really say too much about that, but oh, you know what? There was something I wanted to demonstrate for everyone here. So let me run this ad, and then I'll come back with that demonstration.
Why does crypto suddenly explode into unbelievable bull runs, only to crash just as fast? It's not luck. It's not random. It's macroeconomics. In decrypting crypto, you'll uncover the hidden forces driving every major crypto rally, forces tied to the global debt machine, central bank liquidity, and repeating market cycles. This isn't another blockchain basics book. This is the blueprint Wall Street doesn't want you to read. The playbook that shows you why crypto moves when it does, and how to spot the next bull run before it starts. Don't miss the next cycle. Read Decrypting Crypto. Arm yourself with the knowledge to ride the wave before it leaves you behind. Decrypting Crypto by Cairo Code. Available now on Amazon and Audible.
All right. So here's something else I wanted to show you guys here about like how bad the economy is. About how we're definitely not in a bull run of any sort. Because something else is happening here that should not be happening. Remember how I brought up before, like, hey, there's hot chicks in eviction court. You should not see hot chicks in eviction court. Well, here's something else that we shouldn't see. This was a report that was posted earlier today here. Actually, I don't know if you can hear it. Hang on. Maybe you won't be able to hear it unless I do this. But what I'm getting at here is that we are in a recession, and here's how you know, or at least half of America is in a recession, and here's how you know, because what I'm about to show you is something that really should not be happening. You would never see this happen in a good economy. You're seeing it right now, but that's because the economy is bad. That's all there is to it. And let me know, I'm going to turn the sound on. Let me know if you can hear it. Oops. The heck.
Tonight about this woman, the LA County Sheriff's Department and the LAPD say she has been using dating apps to meet elderly men and steal their money.
And as NBC4's Alex Rosier explains, there may be more alleged victims out there.
So many people are on a quest to find love. But if you've met this woman on your dating journey, detectives want you to contact the LA County Sheriff's Department.
We want any victims to notify us.
This is Adva Levi. Investigators say she also goes by Mia Ventura, seen here in a Facebook video posted by Penthouse Magazine in July 2023. But now the Sheriff's Department put out this special bulletin seeking victims because they say she's been using dating apps to commit crimes.
Somebody meets on a dating website, they build some kind of trust relationship with somebody. Eventually, they're invited into the home, and then this person ends up burglarizing their home.
Levi is not in custody right now, but the Sheriff's Department says she's been previously arrested for similar crimes. They say she targets elderly men and may have been driving this white Mercedes or black Porsche. Investigators said there are numerous victims.
Are we talking 1 to 2, or are we talking dozens?
We're talking many. We're looking probably likely over 10, maybe even more.
Julie Spira is an online dating expert.
When you see someone that is targeting older men, perhaps they're older, wealthy men.
Yeah, so I think you get the picture of what's going on here. And here's what I say. This should not be happening because See, find a
crimes.
Thing. Find a.
Put out this.
There it was.
Now the Sheriff's Department put out this special bulletin seeking victims. Penthouse magazine.
Here's why. Do you think a chick that looks like this should ever have to resort to straight out theft and crime if the economy was good? I mean, if the economy was good, what she'd be working as like a secretary to some big CEO, making at least $250,000 a year, being paid literally just to exist and stand in his office. Then in a lesser good economy, she'd be making money on OnlyFans or stripping. But when those options are not available and she can't find any simps to support her lifestyle, what does she got to do? She resorts to crime. That means we're in a really bad economy. So, bull run was ever going to occur when you're in a really bad economy. So I still maintain my position. Bull run never got started. I think that it will get started when the money printer gets turned on, because here's the deal. And this is like the most important thing for you guys to take from today's stream. All right, I ain't got much else I want to talk about here today. Like some of the stuff I'm just gonna have to save for another stream. But like, here's the most important thing to talk about. Like, I don't have any cash on me, but what I do got is a coupon here for my favorite restaurant, Salt Life. What I love about Salt Life is like when you look at the logo, it looks like it says Slut Life. So that like got my foot in the door right from the start. But when I started eating the stuff, oh my God, the tuna tostado, the sushi, the poke bowl, everything, man, it was all so good. I have not had anything there that I did not like. I liked everything that I've ever tried, and I've tried like almost all the menu. Everything's good. So I got a coupon here, and it says $10 off. We're going to pretend this is a $10 bill. So here's the most important thing to take from today's stream and why the money printer is the most important thing. I need everybody to get this through their heads. I need everybody to have this one piece of financial literacy because, man, I'm arguing with people on X here that I should not be having these arguments with. They should know better. There's some very big names in our community, too, that I thought would know better, but they don't apparently, and I'm very disappointed. They should know what I'm about to tell you, that the money printer is the only thing that matters. And here's the reason why. The final destination of every dollar bill ever printed is financial assets. Here's why that is. This $10 coupon here. Let's pretend it's a $10 bill that just got printed off at the Federal Reserve. Where does it go? First, it goes to the banks. The banks then take that money and they lend it out to businesses. So now the business has the bill. What does the business do? Well, they can use it for several things. They'll pay their employees. And now the employee just got paid the bill and they have the money. What does the employee do with it? They go to the grocery store and buy food. Now the grocery store has it. You see how many times like this bill changes hands here and everything? That's what they refer to as velocity of money. This is how they measure how hot the economy is how many times the same dollars are changing hands. So now the grocery store has it. What do they do with it? Hell, they probably use it to pay their vendors. So now the vending company has it. The vending company pays their employees. Now another employee has it. Let's say it was a very high-level employee, like a manager of some sort, and they're very well paid. So they have enough money from their salary to pay their living expenses, but then they also got enough money to set aside into savings. They could stick it right into a financial asset, and that's the final stop for that money for a long time. It stays there longer than it stays in anybody else's hands, anybody else's pockets. Whether it's a bank, a business, or an employee, it stays in the financial asset the longest because you got to save for a long time. But what if they don't? Maybe they're not investment literate like most people. What else could they do with it? They could stick the money in the bank. Well, what happens when they stick it in the bank? Does the bank just take this money and they just set it aside, or they set it on fire and let nothing happen with it? No. You know what the bank does with this money? They take it and they invest it in short-term T-bills or cash equivalents. And when enough of them do that, when enough of these bills are deposited into banks, and all these banks in aggregate are investing billions and trillions into T-bills, it brings down the yield on T-bills, making it no longer an attractive investment for them. So then they have to go further out on the risk curve in order to make the interest that they want to pay their investors. Now, banks are restricted on how much that they can invest into into what kind of investments they can invest in. They're restricted. They got to do cash and cash equivalents like T-bills. But when enough of them invest in the T-bills and push those yields down, the people who are not banks who are investing in those T-bills go, oh man, the yields on these T-bills really suck. I want more money. So what do they got to do? They got to go further out on the risk curve, either buy some more long-term bonds and bring down the 10-year treasury, hopefully, or they got to go into more risk-on assets like stocks or crypto, because those are the riskiest of all assets that they can buy. So that is how money printing causes our assets to go up, because the final destination of every dollar printed is a financial asset. All of you guys in CryptoX, all of you people in our community, you should know this. You should have this through your thick skulls. You should have this on the tip of your tongue anytime you are in any sort of debate about where the direction of the market is going or what causes the markets to go up. That's all the literacy that you really need. If you know that one fact, then you will be able to navigate these markets perfectly. You'll be able to navigate these cycles perfectly. If you just know that the final destination of every dollar printed is a financial asset, and that's how it happens. I am astonished, appalled, and aghast at how few people, even in our own community, understand that and know that. Now, let's get back to the stories. There's a few more that we should talk about. Something else here. The AI bubble is the only thing keeping the U.S. economy together, warns Deutsche Bank. And the AI thing that's going on right here, it's a big, big fraud. I don't really have time to talk about it today, so I'm going to have to save that for another stream. What's going on right now is incredibly rare, incredibly unusual, because typically what happens is when gold goes up, oil usually goes up with it. When gold goes down, typically oil goes down with it. They usually move together. Very rarely do they separate. Very rarely is it the case where gold is going to go up and then oil is going to go down at the same time. That's a very rare thing. That's a very strange thing, because we look at the price of oil right now, it is very low. So these are anomalies. Our time that we saw it was in the 70s when gold had like one of its biggest runs ever. So this is definitely not normal. It's more normal for them to go up together, or to come closer together, or for them to go down together. So something really strange is going on right here. I don't quite know what's going on there, but it's definitely worth knowing about. Check this out here. On-Chain College tells us, hey, yo, people, everybody panicking and making fools out of themselves, especially over a 5% dip, or right now where we just had a 10% dip. This is very common even in bull markets. We're not in one, but even if we were in one, it's very common to have a 10 or a 20 or a 30% dip, as this chart shows. Goodness gracious, will you all please get your heads out of your butts and realize what we're experiencing is not out of the ordinary? Will you all please do what Margaret Qualley says you should do?
Control yourself!
Jeez, oh God. Please. Tablarus has got a question. I'll come to your question, Tablarus. I'll come back to it here as I see it and everything. But let me just finish up the rest of the stuff I wanted to talk about here. Yeah, this guy right here, Brett_ETH on X. I've been following his stuff right here. He posts some very good stuff, some very interesting charts here. And what he shows here is this basically proves my point that I've said all along right here. He likens it specifically to the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. And what you're looking at here, the black line, this is the entire crypto market cap X Bitcoin. or X the top 10. Everything not in the top 10. And what he's showing you here is that it reacts exactly the same way that you would expect it to with what happens with the federal balance sheet. When the Federal Reserve's balance sheet goes up, those coins go up. When it goes down, those coins go down. All right. So he says this cycle is no different. The other altcoins bottomed at the same time that the Fed ended quantitative tightening. Rate cuts do not equal the end of quantitative tightening. A lot of people think that it does. No. If you're cutting rates while you're still doing quantitative tightening, that's like trying to drive your car while the parking brake is still on. These little 25 basis point rate cuts mean absolutely nothing when you're still doing quantitative tightening. So it's not bullish for the alts just yet. You need the federal balance sheet to start expanding. And here was another thing they pointed out. I'm going to save this one right here about like where Bitcoin tops and where gold tops. A couple things I want to say about the money printer. Somebody was trying to argue with me on X here today to say that, hey, the money printer is never getting turned back on. And I'm like, well, you need to read this paper by Ben Bernanke, because this paper right here that just about everybody at the Federal Reserve 100% agrees with says, hey, you need to make sure deflation never happens ever. When every single country out there has sovereign debt, and they rely on that sovereign debt so heavily, if we had deflation, that would destroy those countries, those governments, and we'd be living in the apocalypse. I'm talking massive violence outbreaks, starvation all over the place. You do not want to imagine what that world is like. So if you just take a look, if you just type in Ben Bernanke deflation speech, this was from 2002, and give this a read right here. You'll understand like why the money printer always goes on. There's this story here on Praetorian Capital about AI, about how it's all one big fraud. I'm going to have to cover this later here because we don't really have the time today. Barron's had a story here I wanted to talk about today, but we don't have the time, about what are called, I think they call them non-depository loans or non-depository institution loans. Basically, it's debt that isn't from a bank. It'd be debt that are for asset-backed loans like car loans. And because of because it's not coming from a bank, because it's an asset-backed loan, this is really smelling just like 2008 all over again. Hence the thing in the thumbnail here that it could be 2008 all over again. But instead of houses, this time it's cars. And it'd be much worse for cars here because cars are a depreciating asset already. Ursula von der Leyen, why do I have her up right here, is that she is the president of the European Commission, and she is wildly unpopular out there in Europe. She runs out of Brussels. That's where like the European Commission and Council for the EU exists, is in Brussels. She's very unpopular, and a lot of countries want to secede from the European Union, which brings me back to this story here that I definitely wanted to get to because it looks like CNBC and the mainstream media is finally paying attention to how important this story is. France's Macron, damn it, will you stop with the pop-ups, reappoints former Prime Minister Lecornu as Prime Minister. This is a big deal, you guys. I think this is a much bigger deal than anything we just saw earlier today on stream. The President, Emmanuel Macron, on Friday, named Sébastien Lecornu as Prime Minister, reappointing him after he quit the job earlier this week, hoping the loyalists can draw enough support from a deeply divided parliament to pass a 2026 budget. They ain't going to pass that budget, I don't think. And if they don't pass that budget, it's going to be absolute chaos out there in France. And there's a chance that France wants to secede from the European Union. And when that happens right there, I mean, that's going to be very devastating for the euro. And it's going to intensify its weakness. And that's probably going to lead to the ECB having to do money printing to get them back into the EU, to get them to stay. Because they can't exist without France. Even though that France is acting like a parasite right now, it's a very big parasite, and it's on the vital organs of the body. So if you take it out, you also lose the organs. So the prime minister that they fired, or not that they fired, he quit on Monday. They reappointed him, be like, oh, no, come back, you gotta help us there. Oh. Let's see, what it says here. We're not looking for Parliament to be dissolved, but Nor are we afraid. Man, that's some terrible grammar. Might be something lost in translation in France here. That's from the Socialist Party leader, Olivier Faure, told reporters after he left the meeting. France's political turmoil, which has dented growth and spooked financial markets, was in large part triggered by Macron's decision last year to hold a legislative election, a gamble that delivered a hung parliament split between three ideological blocs. Yeah. So, see, this is something that is kind of strange to us as Americans. A parliamentary form of government, like the Canadians, will understand this, and everybody out in the UK totally understands this here. But it's a lot different from how we run our government, where imagine if you had, instead of like two wings in the House and Senate, you had three of them. So the National Assembly cannot find common ground on a budget in the time given. Emergency legislation may be needed to keep the country running next year on a rollover budget. Emergency legislation, what they mean by that, I think, is going to be an appeal to the ECB for the money printer. Macron shut out Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally and the hard-left France Unbowed LFI from the meeting of party chiefs. All right. So it's chaos out there is really what the gist of this story is. And you see, here's how bad it is in France. They are losing 200 billion euros a month in capital flight. There's not going to be any money left in France at all at this rate within a year when they're losing 200 billion euros a month. I don't know how they fix this without a money printer. I don't know how they fix it without the ECB, or I don't know how they fix it without capital controls. I think capital controls are coming to France, where they're going to say, well, the money you got in the bank, you can't withdraw it. Sorry, I mean, yeah, it's your money, but you can't withdraw it right now. Or if you're a foreign investor in France, which most investors in France are, they're going to start confiscating your assets. Be like, yeah, there's no private ownership for foreigners when we're facing sovereign default. And in that scenario, when those two things are going on, what type of investment do you think looks very appealing when that happens? What's a very appealing investment that is going to attract a lot of people? Did you say crypto? That's right, crypto. All right. So let's address Tablerus's question here. When printers get turned on, how does the money get into the hands of retail investors? That was just like I just said there. Yeah, let me run through it again one more time because I want to make sure everybody understands this. Here's money being printed by the Federal Reserve. What do they do with it? They lend it to banks. What do the banks do with it? They lend it to businesses. See, businesses, they really like taking on debt. It's very beneficial for a lot of businesses to take on debt. When I ran my laundromat business, I had a lot of debt because it was a lot of capital that I could get my hands on right at once, and paying the interest on it was a tax deduction. So businesses love taking on debt. So when when the business has the money, what do they do with it? They can use it to buy supplies. They can use it to pay utility bills. What about employees? They got to pay their employees, right? Yeah. So even if it's not the exact printed dollars that they received and pay to the employees, it frees up money that they can pay to the employees. All right? So first it starts at the Federal Reserve. Then it goes to the banks. Then the banks lend it to businesses. The businesses use it to pay the employees. The employees got money now. And since they got more money now, what do they do with it? Well, they take it out and they spend it. The average American, when they get a stimulus check, they just fully spend it. They take it to another business, like a grocery store, and they buy groceries. The grocery store has the money now. Now that the grocery store has the money, what do they do with it? They got bills to pay too. They probably pay their vendors. They probably pay their managers. Managers, they got more money than they need for their living expenses, so they got extra money that they can set aside into savings. What do they do when they got that extra money? They can go buy financial assets if they want to. Or what they could do is, since everybody's financially illiterate, they take the money and they stick it in the bank. What does the bank do with the money when you put into it? They buy cash equivalents, T-bills. when lots of banks have lots of money, like trillions that they flush into T-bills, it brings the yield on the T-bills down, making them unattractive for every other type of investor. Those investors can no longer invest in T-bills. They got to go further out on the risk curve. What's further out on the risk curve? Stocks and crypto. That's how it ends up in the hands of retail investors for the most part. And also, you got to remember, when they're printing this money, what else is happening? Debasement of the currency, weakening of the currency, or at least the perception of it. It doesn't even have to be true. I mean, like, ever since you started hearing about, the debasement trade and how that became a story, ever since they started talking about it a month ago, the dollar has actually gotten stronger and going up. Now, it's still being debased. It's still getting weaker in the long term. You see, the DXY is just comparing the fiat currency dollar bills to other fiat currencies. So other currencies are getting weaker. The dollar is usually the last one to get weaker. All right, so the debasement trade is a real thing. It's just not happening the way people think it's happening. All right? Anybody else got any other questions? Let's see if I had anything else to blab about today here. Like, all of the news and everything that was going on was just all needed to be covered. Bitcoin is back above 114,000, guys. This market is not over. It is not over. Like, in a true capitulation. Oh wait, it's 113,000. Is that the true price? Okay. Still, got a pretty nice V type recovery here. I'll show you this. You don't really see this in a capitulating crash that marks the start of a bear market. You don't see a nice V like that. So I'm not worried, and neither should you be worried, because what's going to need to happen is you're going to need the money printers to get turned on. I did have some stuff here to talk about all of that with, but I didn't really have the time to get into it today. We'll get into it next time, though, unless some more drama happens. Do expect a volatile weekend, but remember, who was it that told you this whole time that I think we have a difficult Q4 ahead of us? Who was it that was way ahead of the curve on that? That was me. I told you that. So I hope that you were braced and prepared for this destruction that we saw, because I'd been saying all this time that there was going to be all sorts of destruction. There was going to be a very difficult Q4 ahead of us. And this could continue for the rest of this month. It could continue all the way up until December, because a lot of people are going to be like, it's the end of the fourth year and we haven't gone up. I'm selling out. Screw crypto. I think that, for one thing, when it comes to Uptober, when we have an Uptober, what happens there is it really doesn't start happening until the middle of the month. Last year when we had Uptober, it didn't get popping until October 15th, the middle of the month. I see it no different if we go up at all in the fourth quarter, if we go up at all in October. So, no, it's not over. It never started. It's just because, Bitcoin went up. And because it went up, it must have been bull market started. It's not about the bull. It's not about the price going up. That doesn't define the bull market. All that defines is that actually doesn't define anything at all, because most of it was institutions buying. I showed you all the companies last stream that are buying Bitcoin, and that's why Bitcoin is at where it's at right now. That's why it stayed above 100,000 throughout all this turmoil, because it's on company balance sheets for the most part. They're the ones holding the price there. So, no, I still maintain my position that no, this bull market hasn't started, and it might not get started until June 26th at the earliest. It could take longer than that, guys. It could be till Q4 2026, because that's how long it can take to get the money printer going. That's how long it can take for us to run into an emergency that gets the money printer going. But the money printer will have to get going eventually, because the amount of chaos and the amount of debt that they're taking on, you can't do it with what we currently have. You're going to need to run the printers. You're going to need to, especially with what's going to happen with France. So anybody telling you it's all over right now, I think it's just because they sold their bags already, and they need to convince themselves that they're not missing out of any future appreciation. somebody that said, anybody trying to convince you that the 4-year cycle is broken just wants to have you keep hodling so that you can be their exit liquidity. Well, nothing is in profit right now. So what, we're going to be their exit liquidity for them to sell at a loss? Oh, we're back at 114,000. Hello, Bitcoin. Nice to see you again. So don't listen to the crap, and also be thoroughly encouraged here by this. Look at this. The whole Pulse chain ecosystem held steady. It held very strong. And make sure you rub that in Ivan's face. Oh, I wasn't showing it. Okay, let me show it here. Meant to show it. Be encouraged by this here and rub it in Ivan's face. For all the trash that he talked about Pulse Chain, well, his trash that he recommended went down really hard. We stayed pretty flat the whole damn time. All right? So that is the message I have for you today. But Margaret Qualley also has a message for you. Margaret, what do you got to say?
Control yourself!
All right, everybody. Don't know when to stream again, but definitely sometime next week. Everybody have a good night.
That is it for us today, you glorious degens. Smash that subscribe button to join the rebellion, and follow me on X at ReinventIdeal for more unfiltered truth bombs between live streams. And if this was your first time listening, head over to reinventideal.substack.com, because I have a free gift waiting for you there. If you become a free subscriber, you'll get a free copy of my book, Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice, packed with the wisdom to outsmart the system. It's absolutely free to join, so no excuses. Grab it before the suits catch on. And remember, the bears get blocked right here and told to shut the FUD up. Until next time, this is Cairo.